Hello friends, it's Lisa and welcome to my bullet journal setup for December. And I cannot believe we are in December. We are in the final month of the year. It is not making any sense to me. This year flew by, but I am very excited for my bullet journal setup this month because I'm doing a nutcracker theme. I feel like I've discussed my love for the story of the Nutcracker many times, but if you do not know, I love the Nutcracker. I love the story, love the ballet. It all started with my love for the Barbie in the Nutcracker movie, which is a 10 out of 10 movie. It is incredible. We'll be watching it this year, of course. But yeah, I've just always loved that story, and also like nutcrackers themselves, like as decorations at Christmas time. I don't know why. I just always love them. So I wanted to do a nutcracker theme for my bullet journal. And so I'm just drawing a lot of like symbols and things from the story itself. I obviously could have done more specific things, like I could have drawn the Mouse King or Clara herself, but I wanted to keep it a little bit more simple. So I draw some ballet slippers, a crown to kind of honor the Mouse King, a gingerbread man, a candy cane, a little Christmas tree, and then of course a nutcracker. That was like my most detailed drawing, and that's kind of the most detail that I wanted to do in this spread. But yes, I'm drawing those little doodles to represent the story of the Nutcracker around the center of the page, and in the middle I write out December with my gold paint pen from Archer and Olive, and I kind of use that gold paint pen as the writing for all of the spreads throughout the month. And then to kind of fill in some empty space between those drawings, I add some stars, some mistletoe, and I also just add like a ribbon-like swirl just to kind of replicate the ribbons on the ballet slippers. And yeah, I don't know, I love the Nutcracker story, as I've mentioned, and so it was really exciting to finally do this theme in my journal. I've wanted to do a Nutcracker theme for a while, so I finally decided to do it this year. But yeah, that is sort of everything for the cover page. Those are all of the little details I wanted to add. And I really wanted this month's theme to be more like soft. I wanted a certain color palette. I had it in mind, like whenever I think of this theme, I thought of the more pastel sort of colors. So I use a mint green, a nice pale pink, and also that like golden yellow color. I do occasionally go in with the gray and like light tan marker for like the gingerbread and some of the lines that I use throughout this month's spread, but I wanted to kind of keep it pretty soft. I didn't want to use any of like the super harsh fine liners that I have. I just wanted it to look soft, as I've said many times, and kind of have that pastel sort of color palette. So that is what I decided to do. And so now we've moved on to the calendar. As you can see, I've drawn all of the boxes for the days of the month. I wrote in the numbers, I wrote the days of the week up at the top, and then I'm also writing December once again with that gold marker up at the top. I also decided to keep that notes section that I've had the past few months over on the right-hand side of my calendar page. It's just been very helpful to keep track of certain events or certain things I want to keep track of for the next month, and I feel like that will especially be helpful with my December spreads because my bullet journal for 2024 probably won't be set up for most of the month, so it'll be nice to be able to keep track of things that are happening in January so that when I do have my new bullet journal, I can kind of just transfer that information over. So yeah, once I have the more necessary things for my calendar spread done, like the actual calendar, the notes section, all of that, I go in to add the more fun stuff. So I continue to draw all of the things that I drew on that title page onto this page just to fill in the empty space surrounding the calendar. But as we finish up watching me draw all of these things, I would love to know anything you're looking forward to in December. Obviously, the holiday season is happening this month. I'm very excited for it. I absolutely love Christmas. I feel like December is one of my favorite months of the year, even though I'm not a big winter person in general. This is when I actually do enjoy the winter temperatures and weather, and I love the snow in December. It just feels very magical. There's so many Christmas movies I need to watch. I'm just very excited. But yes, I know that not everyone celebrates the same holidays, and also there's so many other things that can be going on in the month. So let me know any fun and exciting plans that you have. I'd also love to know if you're going to be setting up a bullet journal for the new year or journaling in any way in the new year, whether it's your first year of bullet journaling or having a reading journal or something, or if you're just going to be doing it again. I would love to chat about all of that down below. I'm so excited for a new year and a new journal. It's just very exciting to me. I love a fresh start. But before we get that fresh start, we need to finish up this year. We need to finish up the December spreads. So moving on, my next spread that I'm going to be doing is my habit tracker spread. So I decided to switch up how I was going to be tracking my habits this month. I normally do like the mini calendars for each habit that I'm tracking, but this month I decided to do just 6 rectangles for each habit that I'm tracking. And then I will fill in the correct box when I do that habit. So there's 31 boxes in those rectangles, and that will be how I keep track of these habits. And it was just a little bit more simple to set up, and that's kind of what I wanted to do this month. And then up at the top, of course, I'm drawing some more of those things from the nutcracker, some more of those drawings, just to add a little bit more to the actual page. And then over on the right-hand side of this spread, I'm going to have my playlist page, which is just where I keep track of all of the music that I was listening to throughout the month of December. And I just write playlist up at the top, do some more of those drawings from the nutcracker that I've been doing throughout all of these spreads, and keep it pretty simple so that I have plenty of space to write down all of the music I was listening to. Very excited to have a lot of Christmas music on repeat in December, but also just to see what else I discover and what else I'm listening to. And while I finish up this spread, I thought we could talk about what I was listening to in November. So when I wasn't just listening to 1989 Taylor's version on repeat, I also was listening to the deluxe version of Macy Peters' album, The Good Witch. She released some new songs as the deluxe version, so I've been listening to those a bit. Also, Fruitcake by Sabrina Carpenter, her Christmas album that she's just released. I am absolutely obsessed with it. I just love Sabrina Carpenter. She can do no wrong. To me, I think she's so great. And also Jungkook from BTS, he released his first solo album, Golden, and I'm obsessed. It is like my type of pop music. I think it's so fun, and also there's some songs that hurt my feelings, so it's the perfect mix. But yeah, those were definitely the things I was listening to the most in November. Next up, we're moving on to a very fun spread that is very specific to December. I'm going to have a list of all of the Christmas movies that I want to watch. I just love keeping track of all of the movies that I love to watch around this time of year and making sure that I'm watching all of them, if not most of them. There's definitely some that I have to watch every single year, so it's really important to me that I do. And so having a list of those movies so I can check them off throughout the month is just really fun. I have done some other Christmassy spreads before in my bullet journal, like I've done shopping lists and advent calendar spreads, but I just feel like I never actually use them or keep up with them. So this month I decided to just have the Christmas movie list one because that's the one I actually use, and it's a perfect way to keep track of all of those movies I love to watch. But now we're moving on to the final spread for my December bullet journal setup, which is going to be my first weekly spread. So up at the top, I'm just drawing a bunch of the different things that I've been drawing throughout all of the spreads. And then I create 6 different boxes going across these 2 pages. And then I also have like 2 separate boxes for the weekend. You'll see what I'm doing, but basically just separating the week into all of the different boxes that I need. And it's just like really long boxes, so I can just write out all of my lists and all of my to-do lists and things like that. Plenty of space for every single day, which I feel like I'm gonna need around this time of year. There's always a lot going on and things I have to do and buy and remember around this time of year, so I definitely need plenty of space in these weekly spreads. And while I just finish up this weekly spread, this is going to be my last bullet journal setup video for the year. This is the last month of the year. And so I really just wanted to say thank you all so much for joining me on another year of bullet journaling. I'm very excited for next year to set up next year's journal. I just recently bought my journal for next year, so I'm just very excited for another year of bullet journaling. But obviously, thank you all so much for joining me again this year. With that being said, that's going to be it for my bullet journal setup for December. So here's a flip through of how all of the spreads came out. Again, thank you all so much for joining me, whether it's this video or if you've been watching all of them all year. 2023 was a roller coaster, lots of ups and downs, but I've been loving sharing my bullet journal as always with you all. So definitely let me know what you decided to do in your bullet journal for December, the last month of the year. And thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.